We don't want you to use chatbots anymore. We want you to use a platform which is really made for you, which is easy to take in hand.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Homebase. I got Thibaut here, who has built Delos. Delos is a company that was started from an agency, which is interesting because they now have raised funding. Delos is a next-gen AI workspace that lets you centralize everything that you're doing, from creating docs to managing meeting recaps to creating newsletters and social media posts. All of it can be done in Delos. So here I want to introduce Thibaut, who is the founder of the company. Thibaut, maybe you can say a word or two about what you're building and a little bit about your history and how you got here.
Of course, thank you very much, David. Yeah, so my name is Thibaut. I'm one of the two co-founders of Delos. I'm the sales guy, and Pierre, who is my big brother, worked at the very beginning as an engineer. So he's in the tech department. We started the company literally 2 days after the release of GPT 3.5. I'm going to explain afterwards how it's different, but when we saw everyone, the first time GPT 3.5, we were really mesmerized, like really amazed. And so we immediately understood that there was something very powerful to do with it. During 1 year, we started building this platform, trying to understand how the companies would understand all of those new challenges, would face some struggle of, in the process of adoption. And considerably, with time, with Allianz, Total, Best Western, Shiseido, all of those big companies in Europe, we started crafting, this platform, which is powerful now. The concept is very simple. You don't have to choose any LLMs anymore. So we are orchestrating the best out of all the best LLMs available in the market. So let's say Claude, Mistral, ChatGPT, the models of Google, of Yama, etc. So first we take the best out of them all, and then we introduce a lot more technologies to make them way powerful, way stronger, way cheaper as well. And we divided this platform with 7 applications, which are covering everything that you need in your daily life as a company member. So a tool to summarize meetings, a tool to have like a ChatGPT Lite with all the LLMs, a tool to be your writing assistant, a tool to be your documents reading assistant, a translator assistant as well, a system of automation of newsletter, and a system of internet search, which is kind of similar to Perplexity, but we reproduced everything. And so it allows us to introduce all the concept of agents, of the agentification, which we are feeling right now is being more and more popular days after days. Everyone is speaking about it. We anticipated it 2 years ago, and it's introduced in the center of all the platforms.
Nice. So yeah, interesting thing that stood out about your company is the fact that you started as an agency and then you now have raised funding. But before we go there, I actually want to take your platform for a test drive, because we have a problem at our company, and the problem is we have employees in 13 different countries, and then we have this new initiative where we're creating this podcast, the newsletter content and the social media content that we want to distribute everywhere. And we have a distributed team, and so we want to get on the same page on the things that we're working on. We want to have all our prompts in the same place. We want to have everyone be able to access the content that we create all in one place. And right now we're using multiple tools for that, right? Like we have one product for transcripts. We use Riverside here to create our content. We use ChatGPT and Claude to help us write and summarize our content and structure it for our newsletter. And so I was hoping I could find a product that would help us centralize all of this knowledge. That's one. And find sounds like almost like a perfect fit, like a workplace where we can all put all our content together and work on it in the same workspace. So then our other team members can use the content pieces that were created in that workplace and post it, whether in our newsletter, in our community, or on social media. And so everyone will have the visibility of where that content is, right? So I was hoping maybe you can show me around how your product works and how it can help us accomplish, resolving this problem that I just described.
Yeah, of course. And the problem that your company is facing is a little bit the problem of everyone. You have an account in Notebook LM, you have an account in Fireflies, you have an account in ChatGPT, in OpenAI, in Claude, and so many other actors. So it's very difficult to communicate and to work together.
Right.
So that's why we created this platform. And in the process of creating as well, I will show you a little bit how we thought everything. So if you confirm that you see my screen now,
Yes.
I introduce you very briefly to our platform. Perfect. So 7 applications. I'm not going to go deep into every one of them because the process of the demonstration is going to illustrate some of them. But just to remind that, of course, this is a team. This is a team project. So you are going to work together. You can create sub teams, and every time that you create, a recap of meeting, or you create an agent, you can share it to everyone so that everyone works together. So let me show you a little bit how this platform is powerful and how it was useful, to divide every single shown applications by segmentation. So every application I'm going to show are available, in the process of personalization that you can find in the library. So you can do the parametering, of every single agent. Let me show you how concretely this works. Let's take, for example, in the system of automated newsletter that I have in Act 2, basic newsletter, for example, this one that I created about the new strategies of OpenAI in May 2025. I'm going to copy and paste this small newsletter that I have, every day. So if I just put it like this, you can see that every week I have everything that I have to know about the latest innovation of OpenAI. So I take one of those information and I'm going back to Assistant. In Assistant, the goal is to have a GPT Lite, but with all the best LLMs, and it's going to choose it for me. But for this one, I'm going to choose Claude because I really like the models of Anthropic. I'm going to take my assistant of redaction for my post LinkedIn and say, all right, so I'm sorry about the fact that it's in French, but I'm going to explain, of course. The subject is OpenAI today. I wanted to talk about innovation. I want it to be between 1,200 to 1,500 words about technology. I want a conclusion. I want it for 45, 54 years old as a public. I want it with a very educative tone, with a structure around short paragraphs, with emoji, yes, hashtags, yes, of course, and open question for the letter. Okay, yes. I'm going to copy and paste the information that I put as, let's say, very an information that I can trust because I uploaded the information coming from a newsletter, and in the newsletter, I indicated exactly which sources I trusted. Once it's done, I just put send. Let's take a basic one to have a quick representation. See how easy it is. Well, of course, it's in French, but it's made on purpose because you're going to see that we also have a translator. Here I am with my paragraph, and maybe I want to edit it, because I'm not always 100% very happy with my results. I'm just going to click on this to send it in my other tool, which is made, to edit my text. And to edit my text, I just have to copy and say, ask to Delos, I want it to be, I'm going to put this here. I want it to be more concise, to make it longer, to build it around bullet points, to make it a mail, I just have to just ask for it. And I have an alternative just like that, So I'm not working in a system of questions and answer. I can work directly in my text. Let's say that now it's done and I want it to be fully in English. I'm going to download these documents and go back to my translator tool. My translator tool is made to do live tool, just like that, but I can also drag and drop my document just like that and say, I want it in English. I want it in every single language that you can imagine, but it's going to keep all the, the details, the colors, the organization of the document that I just created. Let's say that I just created a PowerPoint with 200 slides. I want to keep, the organization of my slides. If you put it in OpenAI today, you're going to have like a 6 pages text that you have to put back, in every single box in my PowerPoints. At the end of the day, I just do download right here. And here I am with everything that I wanted right here up. So how OpenAI is shaping the future of technical innovations, and it's operational. So this is how strong you can do, and this is only possible because one person in my team shared me, this architecture of agent in assistance that I had my parameters in my newsletter about OpenAI, that I taught all of the vocabulary that I like in my glossary right here in the translator to say, this is the way that I want you to translate exactly. And you can see like how fast I could go and how I didn't have to do any prompt at the end of the day. And I think this will be the key of adoption in the companies when you have a very good platform, which is gathering everything that you need in your daily life, and you have a very good parametering of the platform. You don't have to prompt anymore. And after 2 years in the Gen AI environment, you can see in the big companies how difficult it is, to learn how to prompt and everything. This for us was the key of those problematics.
Amazing, amazing. So how do you? Yeah, I mean, and you can use your own prompts and everything, right? Like as I understand, that's doable, right? Like in case we like some of our prompts.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And the parameter is yours, like you can build whatever structure that you want as an agent. The structure of the agent is just thought differently in our platform. The idea is not to always work with pre-prompt, like the GPTs. You say, okay, in this conversation, I want you to speak with a juridic tone. No, we want something a little bit deeper. And you can create this template when you just have to fill in the blanks or select options. And this, of course, you can do it yourself.
Super cool. Yeah, I'll be passing this off to our team. I mean, I'll be using it myself. Hopefully, I have like a good understanding of how it all works. Thank you for the demo. I think we could use it. I'm pretty sure. Of course. I think if it was English first, like it would be even more interested. Like when I go on the website and I see French, maybe like sometimes that could, I feel like, at least drive away the US based users. I think like that's my only.
No, the website, of course, but the website is accessible in English as well, and all of our videos now are available in English because we are thinking about opening our new antennas in the UK and in the US. So of course, we want it to be very international. Very quickly.
Tell me more about that. Like, how did you guys get started? As I understand, you were an agency, and then how did you go from? Let's just talk about that. How did you go from like an agency to building this product? Like, what was the story there?
When there is a new sector that is opening up, it's very difficult to understand how people are going to use it, what they expect from you. And we didn't know how strong this technology was going to be and how limited it was, because of course, Gen AI is not able to do everything. So we wanted to take a little bit of time to understand precisely how we could bring something to the sector. So we had the opportunity quite quickly, actually, to sign a very big contract with Allianz. So a very big insurance company which asked for our help in 5 different countries in Europe. So we had all the time to build very strong technologies. As I said, the orchestration models are very technical, and we were being paid, for this research. So it was just a perfect plan for us. And after some time, let's say, I think 9 months, we never wanted to be an agency with the other founder, Pierre. We really wanted to build a product, but we didn't want to take the wrong direction. So after 9 months of working, we decided to speak to each other and say, okay, what is the vision what is your vision? What should we do that is not made and proposed by the markets right now, which could, help people? What would be our differentiator? And we immediately understood that we were not going to have the same run that the LLM builders. So we didn't want to be an equivalent of ChatGPT, of Claude, because it was already a very complex environment. And you had to have at least 100 or 200 million of investment to start the run, So we told each other, right, let's say that people are going to struggle to communicate with those chatbots. We have to build a platform. We have to build a cockpit. Right now, we are asking people to communicate with a motor when they actually need a cockpit where they only have, to click on some buttons and not to prompt anymore. And what we are going to do is that we are going to evolve with the capacities of the LLMs. So we are going to take the best out of every one of them. So every time there is a new release, we are going to be, just on point at the maximum of what the technology has to bring in the Gen AI environment. And so progressively, we started to build this platform with 2 applications, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We want to stop at between 10 to 12 approximately. And yeah, when we released in October 2024 the platform, the market went crazy because we already had our first client, as an agency. So we told them, hey, we also built something on the side. What do you think about it? And then, just like that, it accelerated. And the investors came right away.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, every agency founder's dream, I feel like, is to build a product, and you guys kind of like walked right into it, so which is cool. So yeah, in terms of investors, like are you happy you raised money? Like, did it change something for you? Do you wish you stayed bootstrapped? Like, what's your thinking? What's your thoughts there?
Well, I didn't actually speak about how many people we were, but when we arrived in front of the investors, we were already 20. So we knew a very good acceleration. We were already 20, and all engineers from top tier schools of France. They are all from Polytechnique and École Normale Supérieure, which are the reference of the engineer in France and maybe in Europe. So we were very proud of the team, and we were feeling like, okay, we can make it by ourselves. We don't need any investors in the round. But at some point, as we began to have a very strong ambition with international, ambition, we wanted to expand, and we knew that this market was evolving very quickly, so we had to move fast. We understood that maybe the investors were a good solution to help us do this, So quite quickly arrived French and British investors, Canadian as well. 4 names came up. 20 VC with the famous Harry Stebbings, who just, who was opening a new fund. And we really, really had a very good relationship with Harry quite quickly when we met him. And, he's the one who is interviewing Elon Musk, who is interviewing Sam Altman, the founder of Shopify, the founder of 11 Labs and everything. So he was understanding everything, and he was very well connected. So we really appreciated how strong this was actually. Then Tima Ventures arrived. It's a French, very famous one, from a French billionaire called Xavier Niel. Then Plug and Play arrived in the run as well. Very good relationship with Plug and Play. And Innovia, which is a fund created by ex-Google, There is Patrick Pichette, who is the ex-CFO, the ex-global CFO of Google during, I think, 10 to 15 years. Very good guy that we met also at this moment. And we just found ourselves with very strong people, and we told each other, okay, maybe this is the moment to start a run, and they are the good actors to invest in the company. Now we are aiming very big fundraising at the beginning of 2026. We want to show the world how strong we can be with only a little fundraising, because for the moment we're bootstrapped from the beginning, and at 2026 maybe opening our adventure in the US, because it's always the dream when you're working in the tech, right?
Yeah. And by the way, congrats on Harry Stebbings, right? 20 VC. That's amazing. I always look at his posts. I'm like, oh man, this guy has done crazy things, or like has a crazy journey.
He has done crazy things.
But yeah, that's cool. So that's amazing. So okay, tell me a little bit about, like, because I talk to founders, and I own a company that helps US-based AI companies as well as non-AI companies hire talent. And right now there's like a war for talent, right? And so how are you guys?
Yeah.
How are you guys keeping up there? Like you mentioned, you're getting all the best engineers from your hometown, Paris, and the top school there. How, like, do you see challenges expanding your team? Is that like one of the big bottlenecks, or like, like what are you seeing out there in terms of that? Like, every founder that I talk to, they say like, how are we supposed to build if, like, at any time, like, we find a good engineer, he gets snapped up by OpenAI or cloud or yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good remark. Like that's the challenge that you face when you take good engineers, because when you have bad engineers, no one wants them, so it's easier,
Yeah.
But yeah, we have very good ones, and yeah, I think, and you know that OpenAI opened a lab in a headquarter in Paris very
Oh wow,
recently.
really?
So the transference is
Yeah.
just right here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's right here. Well, I would say that of course it's a challenge. Like those guys know that they are good, know that they are wanted. So the answer that we had with Pierre was two main answers. First, you have to pay them well, because of course the transference will always,
Mhm.
think bidder. And for this, the Americans are very good. Giving high salaries is very specific to the US, and they're very good at this. So of course you have to be at this level. The second thing I would say is you have to create an identity. Right now, we are in the tech sector. Everyone is moving every 2 years to 3 years, to another company, and it's a very moving
Mhm.
sector. But we think that if you impose a very strong identity, of, for example, we impose presential. You are not allowed to do co-work, teleworking in our company. We are doing, taking beers after every week. When we did the good work, when we are having, like, when we have a new client, everyone is celebrating with the one that got the client. When we did a fundraising, when the company is accelerating, everyone is benefiting from the acceleration. So we want to make every single employee in the company feel like it's their company, and that if it's going crazy, everyone is going to have a part of it. And this is really how we think. And as well, we think that making them believe that the French engineers and the French architecture can have a big place, a big influence in the tech
Mhm.
environment, made them very proud, because they were raised in the same schools and they were raised in the same country. And I think this is a strong message that they are really they are very sensitive to
Got it.
this. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, it's crazy. I've heard, last founder I talked to, he said OpenAI opened an office in Berlin and they're paying 400,000 or 500,000 euros when most companies pay between
Yeah.
60 to 100,000. So it's like, okay. And that's in
Yeah.
many ways, that's what's happening in the US too, right? So, okay, cool. Yeah, so what else? I mean, you like what you mentioned you're looking to raise a big round in about 6 months, 6 to 12 months, and like what is that
Yeah.
money? Where is that money gonna go for? Like marketing or like scaling a team? Like where, like like where's I guess like what's the current bottleneck that you're facing at the company?
Yeah, the question is, if you give me 100 millions, what would I do with it? Which is a great question. First of all, I would buy a very big boat. No, no, I'm just kidding. What would I do with a lot of money? Well, right now we raised a few
Yeah.
millions. Like to start off, that was very good, because we wanted to show, just give us few millions, and you're going to see that the position that we have in the ecosystem of Gen AI, which is not very consuming because we don't have to train any LLMs, is very strategic and is going to be very powerful. So we told the investors, give us few millions and let us show you what we can do. So right now, what we invested in is, of course, the sales team, which was only 2 people, and now we want we are extending it to 10 people now. So we are almost 30 now
Mhm.
in the company, and we want to show in 6 to 9 months how many clients can we bring at the
Mhm.
same time. In 9 months, if I have 15 millions this time, or 20, doing like a big series A or B, I think there is a lot of marketing right now. Like, look at OpenAI. Everyone is using ChatGPT in the companies, even if it's not allowed because it's not secure for the company. Everyone has it on its phone. Even my mother, who is not really good with AI technology and everything, she had the immediate habit, of taking OpenAI. And you know what? We have Mistral in France. We have Le Chat, and no one from my family or my gathering are taking it, which shows how strong the marketing of OpenAI is, and how it makes, sometimes 80 to 90% of the choice, because we could say that Claude is a very, very good model. Like for us, for all the tech guys in our company, Claude is super powerful, sometimes even more than Cursor or Lovable. So why is everyone taking OpenAI? It's because of marketing. So of course, we want everyone to know about us. We want to explain, okay, we were in the first wave of Gen AI. Everyone was using in the companies chatbots with OpenAI. We don't want you to use chatbots anymore. We want you to use a platform which is really made for you, which is easy to take in hand. And even if people like you, David, or me, we are very good in AI because we are young and we are very interested into those technologies. But if you take the average people, like the average person in a company, he doesn't know anything, maybe not less than 10% that you know about Gen AI. He doesn't know how to prompt. He doesn't know the capacities and the limits of those models. So he has to be helped. So how can you help him? You have to help him with a platform where you only have to click in buttons. No need for training. You need to help him because you, David, you are working in the same company than he, and you are able with this platform to share agents. So he just have to click, for very personalized use cases. So what we wanted to do with this company is to make it easier to take in hands, where for the moment we thought that Copilot was not good enough. So we thought, okay, maybe if we plug ourselves to all the platforms, Google Workspace, Microsoft and everything, and we make it easier, maybe we have a shot. And for the moment, it's accelerating. So yeah, I would say a lot of marketing. You don't have to be too much in the engineering team. Otherwise, the ideas are going to go slower. The producing is going to go slower. And we are seeing unicorns raising every day with only teams of 20, 30, 50 people, Take Eleven Labs, take Cursor, take Lovable. They're not more than 100. So you can do crazy world stuff with very few people. So in the tech team, it's very important not to be too big. Otherwise, we are going to go slower, like
yeah. There's like a good ratio between how many engineers you need, and if your team gets too big, you actually slows you down. It's a valid point. Do you ever feel like, like OpenAI, like can just copy you, or like is that like a concern? Like,
That's that's the most intelligent question I've had always, because most of the time people tell me, yeah, but do you think Copilot is going to get better and better? I think that we have the good approach. So like we understood how things had to be done for companies, but you're right. Maybe the biggest fear that I'm having right now is that when we go big, when we go famous, if we go famous one day, I hope that we are so in advance that OpenAI is telling itself it's going to take too long to to match the difference. So it's not going to be doable to do it. So either we make a proposition of buying this company, either we accept that we are in the LLM segment, they are in the platform segment. We are living thanks to each other because we are living thanks to the LLMs well, right now it's a little bit pretentious to say that, but who knows? Maybe in 1 year or 2 years, if we go very big, that would be the logic. So what you're saying is very clever. I would say I hope that when we go big, we go really big, so that everyone knows who we are. And when OpenAI tries to do exactly the same, everyone is going to say, that's exactly what they did, that's just a copy. And when you know already a reference, you don't really like the copy. It's like Coca-Cola and Pepsi. You don't appreciate it like it's the original.
I could easily see if like if OpenAI is opening offices there, like it's an easy buyout for OpenAI. If I was an investor, that's like I could see that as an opportunity. So uh,
Well, the thing is that we really don't want to be bought by OpenAI or
uh-huh.
Microsoft or Google. Like for a lot of founders, it's like the ultimate goal. You create Waze, and then Google buys you 1 billion, and then you spend your life in Jamaica with a big bed, sun and alcohol. But that's really not what we want to do with Pierre. It's the project of a lifetime, and we spent so much time, into this platform. It was like blood and tears for 2 years to build a name. Then I don't want to sell it. It's
Mm.
my baby now, so I don't want to give it to anyone. I want it to go big. Maybe I want some investor to take a part of it, but I still want, to manage it. So it's not the goal.
Got it. So, okay, if you're raising a big round, like, do you plan on doing it in Europe, or do you plan on going all in on the US? Because like most US investors, at least from what I've seen, they want you to be in San Francisco or New York or whatnot. So, what are you thinking there?
Once again, very good question. It's the temptation of the US, It's very difficult when you're in Europe. Everyone is telling you stay strong, stay European, and everything. But what is true is that the US are very good in marketing and very good in buying, So when they're speaking numbers, they are speaking bigger numbers. So the temptation is always very, very, very huge. What is sure is that we want to go to the US market.
Mm.
That's for sure. Like that's very important for us. It's a very dynamic market. Consumers that really know how to appreciate the product, and so it's the dream. Um, let's say that the things that are going to be very important for us is how the American investors can evaluate our solution. That is very important for us, how they can propose, how much they can propose, how many doors can they open when we arrive there. This is very important, You don't arrive in the US market with just a backpack, a computer, and saying, okay, let's speak to everyone about my product. You want to arrive with the big door, So the good introductions. I think Harry Stebbings is going to be very good with that because he already have a lot of good contact. We have the founder of Dataiku. Maybe you know them. They are a very big French company, multi-billion euro company, which arrived in the US a few years ago, led by Florian Dueto, who is one of our investors. Like we know a lot of people who made these shifts, and yeah, we want when we arrive there to be ready and to be ready for the US to appreciate what we did.
Nice.
So, am I going to choose a US investor? I don't know. Is it a temptation? That's for sure.
Amazing. Good. Yeah. Yeah, I would say almost everyone I talk to, investors are asking them to be where they are. So yeah, San Francisco sounds like could be a destination for you guys. But yeah,
I would love. I would love to go
but
there.
amazing stuff. So okay, in terms of like how you like handle pricing, I checked out like your on your website, like are you looking to like this is currently like per seat based, like are you looking to implement agentic AI like agents, anything additional, like what's on your roadmap? Can you tell us a little bit about that, like and like will the pricing change in the future, like yeah, just
Well, I'm on camera, so I cannot say anything about how the pricing is going to change, but it's possible that it's going to change at some point. Right now, let's say that the orchestration models, the orchestration architecture that we have is really, really well organized, which helps us to be very competitive in terms of pricing. And right now, if you compare the price of Delos for that SO compared to Copilot or ChatGPT, you have so many more models, so many more options, and it's
Mhm.
actually cheaper. So for the moment, the market has decided that everything has to gravitate around $30. So we have to stay, approximately around those
Mhm.
prices. How it's going to evolve? We're going to add two more apps. The first one is going to be a very dynamic agenda, but an agenda made for a Gen AI. Let me give you an example. When someone is asking you for some availabilities next week and you never know how to do it very quickly. You always have to go back to your calendar to say, okay, this day to ta 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 ta. No, with Gen AI, it's going to be like, hey, assistant, find me 3 slots of 1 hour where I'm available next week and send them to. So, you will just have to explain all of this just like that. The other application that is going to arrive is going to be the mail automation, which is a very good transition to the agentic aspects. Right now, you have our first version of agents that are already available within the library that I just showed at the beginning. But the second step is to, automate connections. So let's say that, the process that I just showed was navigating throughout 4 applications. Tomorrow, you will just have to do it once to have it, done automatically next week without having to do anything. So agentic is going to be the key of AI, but it's very difficult to define what agents and agentic, systems actually are. I feel like everyone is talking about it, but no one knows how to define it. So we want to give our definition. Maybe it's going to be a connection between templates, orchestration of models, and workflows, which are automated. We are not, completely we haven't decided completely with the precise definition, but yeah, it's definitely on the roadmap. Is the price going to change? Right now, we are thinking like Uber, First, you have to stand on your ground, You have to be famous, you have to extend in the companies. So it would not be a very good commercial strategy to raise the prices right now. For the moment, we want to show that we are better than our competitors, so we want to be very competitive on the pricing aspect.
Yeah, the reason I ask is because I've noticed couple or a few times I've talked to some founders and there's been kind of a sticker shock, so to say. I look at what the cost of using their product is, especially the agent stuff, right? And it comes out costlier than hiring a PhD or an MBA somewhere in Asia or Latin America. So I'm well, why would I use this agent where I don't know if it's gonna work or not? I can, if I hire a really good human for this price, is comes out to $20-$25 an hour. It's so I'm just curious as to what you're seeing out there in terms of how you guys are gonna price out your product. And the reason I heard that the prices are rising on some of these products is because they raise a lot of money and then they need to figure out how to price it out so that someone can use it. And so if you raise a lot of money and then you pass off the cost of raising money onto the customers, I think I can see that becoming a bottleneck for some, at least with the kind of prices they're throwing out there. The only justification that I could see or it working is instead of targeting enterprise could probably afford those prices. Do you guys have a plan, or are you guys working with enterprises right now? What's your go-to market strategy?
Yeah. So first of all, we are 25 euros per month. So it's going to be a very cheap PhD, to compete those prices. You never know. Maybe in some part of the world you can find some like this. So yeah, you have to be very competitive because Gen AI is not, acquired in every people's head. You have to prove the value, the true ROI before rising the prices. Right now it's going to be, I think, stable. And I forgot your last question, David. What was your last question?
What's your go-to market? Who are you targeting? Who's your ideal customer? Is it the enterprises? Is it small businesses? What are you seeing out there?
Right now, it's really a B2B market that we have. So we are really signing with companies. They are our biggest clients. Although a lot of people are connecting by themselves right now and they are consuming Delos, just like that in the B2C market. But our main target is really the B2B one. It's most of the time it's average and big ones. They are the one responding very well to our offer because they want to invest in Gen AI because they're afraid to be, completely overwhelmed by all of those new technologies, and they don't want, to leave the product effect, to be outdated in the technology aspect. So they want to invest, but they are looking for the one that their people are going to understand. And I think this is what I was saying a little bit before. Like they've experienced OpenAI and Microsoft and everything, but no one actually started to use it because it was too difficult for them. So what makes us very special in their mind is that people are actually using it. And at the end of the day, that's what's most important, you know. If they are investing, they want to know if people are using it or not. And we have crazy good statistics about adoption in those companies. So they are aiming to invest a lot in this transition. They are liking the fact that we made it easy, and in Europe at least, they are liking the fact that it's European. So for all of these reasons, right now we have like very good big companies, the one that I mentioned before, but also foreign companies. Shiseido is a 45K people company. You know, there are 45,000 in the world. They are Japanese and they are consuming Delos, so it's a good sign for the next steps of internationalization.
Nice. Sounds good. Sounds good. I like it. I like what I'm hearing. Also because sometimes like you see these AI products out there, and you don't know if they're going to be around in like a year or two. So the fact
That's for sure. Now everyone is appearing and disappearing at the same speed.
Yeah.
So it's a good sign when you survive 2 years in this
Sounds
ecosystem.
good. We're coming up short on time here, so I just kind of want to like throw some questions about like lessons and maybe predictions. And so, like, what are some of the lessons that you could share with people in pursuing to build an AI startup that you could share? Like, what have you learned? What have you like what would you have done differently? I think that's a better question. If we went back 2 years ago.
Well, that's very difficult question, because when you do mistakes, this is where you learn a lot, I would have been way more cautious about who is putting money in my company and who is going to have influence on my choices. That's the first one. Be very careful with when you're doing good. A lot of people are smelling that you can do something interesting for them. Be careful. Take the time to know who you are advancing with. That's very important. I would say right now, the Gen AI ecosystem is changing so quickly, Like you can find new actors like Manus, like DeepSeek, like Lovable, like Cursor, like 11 Labs, and I could give 100 more that are appearing every day. So like a new word is appearing. But if you have a product that is very, very, very verticalized, it's going to be a problem because there is a way easier accessibility to producing some stuff. Let me give you an example. The meeting notes applications like Ota, like Fireflies, like Nuta, and like so many other ones. Like it was a very good idea 1.5 years ago. Now we have 250 of them only in Europe, and maybe more in the world. So it's getting very difficult to stay competitive in one sector because we are, developing way quicker. So what I would say right now is that if you are developing a product, build a product that is going to stick to every people's life. If you are doing Cursor of Lovable, the problem is that the engineers can switch from one application to another in a day. When everyday people, they are very hard that they take a lot of time to adopt one product. So I would say aim more those people because they are the one who are going to sign for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. And in this ecosystem right now, it's going to have a lot of value.
For sure, yeah. I'm noticing, and people are no longer loyal to stuff. So it's like you need to build.
That's for sure. Maybe you, David, you are going to call someone else tomorrow who is doing the same stuff that I am. And we don't care, it's the price of it's the rules of the market.
It's tough. Like the world's just getting like more competitive. So you're trying to figure out like, well, how do we stay competitive in this market? Like which products do we use? Like which will help us get there? And on that note, so like tell me a little bit about like what you're thinking is gonna happen to like the jobs market. Like for us, like we've been able to do so much with so much less. Like, like one example, like we're we've had junior team members who, with the right AI setup, they can perform at senior level. So we don't have to hire any more seniors. And some say like, oh, like juniors are in trouble. I found it a little bit the opposite way. If they go all in on AI right now, like they can perform at like, fairly senior level with some guidance, right? So there's that. In terms of engineering, like same thing. Like there's, I think OpenAI just came out with Codex, and there's, like I've seen like apps being built an hour and a half that used to take like 6 months or to a year back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Are you like, do you think the hiring market is just gonna, from here on, just gonna keep contracting, or like, do you think there's gonna be big hiring moves in the future by companies besides OpenAI?
Yeah, besides OpenAI, who is recruiting everyone? That's a very good question. It's very tough to say, but what I'm sure of is that we're going to live a very strong transition for sure. Like, let's give the same example that you just did. Like, I would say right now, a developer, an engineer who is not changing all of the habits he had, into producing some applications for the last 20 years is dead tomorrow. Because those new ones, those new engineers just coming out very freshly, who just, they were born with cursor in their head or with a cloud in their hand. They're just advancing 100 times faster, So people have to adapt. Otherwise, they're going to be outdated very, very quickly. That's for sure. Now, what do we do with all of those engineers that you can sometimes, divide by 10 your team because you can go 100 times faster? It's very difficult to say. I think all of this will create new opportunities, new jobs. Maybe it's going to be way easier to be on your own, to create your own stuff and, resolve very quickly a problematic. I think the transition is going to be very strong in 5 to 10 years when we will really feel the implementation of Gen AI in everyday people's life. Now, I don't know how many doors it's going to open, but it's going to close some, that's for sure.
Got it. Yeah, a lot of my friends, including in San Francisco, like are buying like farms because they think coding will be going extinct.
I would do exactly the same. Actually, that's a very good investment.
Yeah, so we'll see.
I'm going to tell everyone about that. That's a very good business strategy, actually. I would do the same.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like I'm here in Mexico. We're looking at some land also a little bit, like, but I don't know if they have good farmland here, so we'll see. But okay, Thibaut, man, I think that answered a lot of my questions. A lot of great things were discussed here today. Thank you for the intro to the product. I'm gonna try to get our team to use it, and I'll kind of report back to you with how that goes. Initially, like we'll just use it for for like the newsletter, and then see if we have any questions. One thing that I did want I had your Chrome extension installed. I think it was in French. I couldn't get it to work in English, so
it's arriving in English. I know, David. That's you picked the only stuff which is not translated in English right now, but you're right. Now, of course, all the platform is in English. The website's in English. The demonstration videos are in English, but the extension is not. And I'm going to tell my team right away.
Thank you. Because like my wife is pressuring me to learn Spanish, and there's only so much I can do here right now.
A ver, pues, no problema, pero si puedes aprender francés antes, sería perfecto.
Sounds good, man. Okay, thank you for the great call. I'm gonna, thanks for coming here, taking the time, and then I'm gonna, say goodbyes here.